Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Bitcoin up here on the daily, right now trading at $38,700 per BTC. Guys, I look at this chart and every single day we're making gains, albeit they are small gains, and to be honest with you, I'm not liking the way that is moving. That's not to say that it is not going to continue to move up. This usually is a sign, with a strong downtrend and the weak uptrend of an inverted pennant, so a bearish pennant. This usually does suggest that Bitcoin will move lower. That said, though, even if we do reach this former level of support, this very, very strong support that we saw back in the summer for Bitcoin, that wouldn't be terrible. I mean, it wouldn't be ideal, but it wouldn't be terrible either. Really, to signify ultimate danger for the Bitcoin trend, a complete breakdown to the downside, we would have to move below that level, and that level is at about $28,600. That would be right at the bottom of that range here where it wicked down back in the summer. So we're just keeping an eye on it for now. Of course, Bitcoin could surprise us and keep moving up to the 702. At that point, we will see what it does. What's interesting to me at this moment in time with regards to the crypto markets as a whole is that, there are so many indicators suggesting that this is not over yet, like the low volume. We did not see that euphoria when Bitcoin hit this all-time high, $69,000. We still have not seen altcoins rally either. And, although we did see that decline recently, the market cap is up by about $100 billion. Bitcoin dominance still hovering around 41,000. So just to that point, that alt season has not occurred. Altcoins and Bitcoin up by a little bit today, by and large in the green. So something we should be paying attention to. Dark Defender here also mentioning XRP. So what a fight Ripple and XRP is having at the moment. XRP is between the multi-year resistance and a very critical support level. Please check how it did work in the past couple of months. Above this zone, XRP is still damn bullish. So we're taking a look at this multi-year resistance level, this trend line moving up. XRP obviously still staying above that. What Dark Defender ultimately is noticing here with regards to the XRP chart is so this level of support, multi-year support right down here, and multi-year resistance, difficult to get out of that, both those zones. So has not broken below this, but has not broken above this level here. And so, one way or the other, we got to see something happen, right? At some point, we got to see something happen with XRP price, and obviously we're hoping that it is going to go to the upside. Again, many factors involved before we end up seeing that. Want to keep moving, guys. Trevor Roque here on Twitter posted this: XRP and Uniswap still underbought per this on-chain data. So this was out from a couple of days ago. A sentiment tweet here: Uniswap is one of several assets that have seen trader profits plummet particularly hard during recent price corrections. And so metrics like the MVRV help point out when trader pain reveals buy windows. And so they're saying these cryptocurrencies here, Uni, XRP, GRT, AAVE, COMP, and LRC, these are cryptocurrencies that have fallen low on this level. And they've got the Uniswap chart up here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Historical MVRV danger zone. So very, very oversold, aka very, very underbought. So perhaps a buying opportunity if you do believe we are still going to see an alt season, which I believe we will. James Rule, XRP, bringing this to us with regards to Bitcoin and savings plans. Now, over the last few days, I just mentioned that more states are becoming more Bitcoin friendly, namely Arizona, and the other day I was mentioning Mississippi. Well, James Rule, XRP, brought this to our attention. This has to do with the NYDIG. They're unveiling Bitcoin savings plans for employee benefit programs. Now, in the United States, businesses owned by Drew Brees and Tillman Fertitta among the first to let their employees get paid in Bitcoin. The NYDIG, a leading Bitcoin company, announced today the launch of a Bitcoin savings plan to let employees of leading companies get paid in Bitcoin. A Bitcoin savings plan is an exciting employee benefit program that allows an employee to convert a portion of their paycheck to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is held on the same secure, regulated NYDIG platform used today by some of the largest banks and companies in the world. Now, I don't think I have to get into the details of this. I think, again, another point to make here that Bitcoin is going to be valuable in the future, and more mainstream entities, businesses, corporations are realizing the same. Are you going to think about it for a second, are you going to take a risk with your employees' money, your employees' savings, if you do not think this is a good opportunity and if you did think that Bitcoin is a scam, right? This is a very different narrative than what we were hearing 3 years ago, right? At the top of the bull market in 2017. So we're seeing now more companies devising plans to be able to help their employees save with Bitcoin. And I mean, nothing is a foolproof plan. Of course, there's always risk to this, but it's the sentiment, it's the optics, I think, the mainstream optics of this. If you can now save in Bitcoin for your retirement, the optics is Bitcoin is a safe vehicle to park your money in, and this just ultimately means more adoption. More people, more non-cryptocurrency people will be comfortable investing in such a digital asset. And so, I think the optics are good, especially for us who have gotten into the space so early. So great news there. Wanted to thank James Rule XRP for posting that. T-Hole Bet XRP bringing this to our attention. This has to do with Ripple partner dLocal. And so dLocal will let Rappy customers use Brazil's Pix system. Latin American super app Rappy has expanded its partnership with payment platform dLocal to allow Rappy customers in Brazil to use the country's Pix payment system for purchases. As the company notes in their announcement, which was yesterday, Pix adoption growth rate is among the fastest in the world, now representing 72% of transactions in Brazil, with more than 100 million people using the system since its launch. The partnership will now let Rappy's Brazilian customers use dLocal's payment platform to make purchases with local credit card payments, including MasterCard, Visa, and American Express cards issued by local banks. At the moment, the service is available for ordering in restaurants, e-commerce, and cash. So we've got dLocal, which is Ripple enabled, and now Rappy wants to leverage that payment platform to expand their business. It just makes sense. This service will be available across the entirety of the app in the next 6 months, the company said. It marks the first time Rappy will be using this alternative payment method. And so here's a quote from them. dLocal has been a trusted partner of our operation in Latin America for the last couple of years. This coming from Carlos Ayalde, global head of payments at Rappy. By offering one of the latest payment innovations in Brazil, such as Pix, we are taking the next step in our partnership to further improve our customer experience and offer localized payment methods focused on the customer preferences and habits. So that's what the Rappy representative is saying with regards to this partnership. Secondary, tertiary partnerships, this has been a big theme in 2021. Moving into 2022, we are going to see, and we are currently seeing, RippleNet grow, guys, globally, because the United States, of course, there are restrictions, or rather, not so much restrictions, but uncertainty because of the legal case. That has been the thorn in Ripple's side, and perhaps why the XRP cryptocurrency has not performed as well as it could have, although, we were still in a lawsuit, and XRP did hit a high of almost $2 back in April. That was the height of the cryptocurrency market. We are now seeing Bitcoin make new all-time highs, so this does suggest that the market could and will indeed go higher. We are just not seeing those fundamentals on the Bitcoin chart that we did in the last bull run. We are not seeing those same structures, right? That sharp peak before that sharp downturn, the retracement, and then the collapse. We're just not seeing that over here. And the other thing I wanted to mention, again, is the volume, right? We usually do see a heavy peak of volume for trading when the euphoria kicks in at all-time highs. And when Bitcoin hit this all-time high over here, we did not see any of that high volume. So where's the volume? Is it going to come later? This is the hypothesis, guys. I'm getting a little off topic though, just going back to the market. But with regards to this, again, more partnerships, this in the Latin American region, great for dLocal Ripple partner, ultimately going to be great for Rappy customers as well. So I wanted to thank T-Hole Bet for posting that. Another thing I just wanted to mention too was this Wall Street Journal article and Ripple's legal battle with the SEC. So this is getting more attention. I know Charles Gasparino has really been shedding light on this subject via Fox Business News. So more mainstream exposure for the Ripple SEC case. I think now that cryptocurrencies are becoming more popular and now that there are crypto bills being looked at, this is becoming a bigger talking point, I think, for more government officials, of course, politicians. They want to get it right. There are definitely members of Congress that want to see cryptocurrency adoption flourish. And then there are the naysayers who say, well, we really got to be careful about this, and we got to keep it to a minimum. We can't let the people have freedom with their cryptocurrencies. Well, I think things like this, and this was written by David Michaels, I believe. He posted it on Twitter. There's nothing new really in this article, nothing that the XRP community probably doesn't already know. However, I thought I'm going to link it in the description anyway. I'm not going to read this article for you. It's just a great summation of what has been going on with the SEC versus Ripple trial to date. So for people who basically don't know what's going on, I mean, we learn about the trial day by by day, you know, get our daily updates, our daily fix from James K. Filan or John Deaton or attorney Jeremy Hogan, whoever. We XRP hodlers, right? We know what we hold, so we want to constantly get these updates. But for somebody who might not know about cryptocurrencies or doesn't really understand what's going on, this is a great summation here, again, from a mainstream media outlet. I think that is the most important takeaway here. A news outlet that gets over 42 million readers per month. So I think that's good. It gets Ripple's name out there as well. And guys, honestly, I do think we have an upper hand considering we purchased our XRP, most of us at least, at such a low point, right? We cost averaged down during the bear market. We saw XRP rally, and now that it's at 63 cents almost, great buying opportunity. And, you know, people might read this article and think, well, you know, they're in court. That's a little risky. Others with the foresight, they say, well, you know what? Maybe I'll buy a little bit of this. This sounds like it could be promising. But for us XRP hodlers, we know what we hold. We've done the research. We realize the opportunity here. So obviously, we're in the best position. Gonna keep moving though, guys. This from Martin Volk, okay? So Ripple sends 50 million XRP to unknown wallets. And U.Today is postulating as to why. So Whale Alert detected that Ripple had transferred 50 million XRP to a wallet tagged as unknown. However, a detailed look into the data provided by BitHomp shows that in reality, the funds were moved to one of Ripple's extra wallets, the RL18-VN wallet. According to BitHomp, this Ripple address is often used for moving XRP outside of the company to financial institutions and exchanges, as well as ODL corridors. So this just to kind of emphasize that ODL, on-demand liquidity, is still in demand worldwide. One of the commentators in the thread under the tweet suggested that the 50 million XRP in question were likely sent to the wallet to be moved to one of Ripple's on-demand liquidity corridors afterwards. So somebody was indeed suggesting that. We know Ripple does move a lot of XRP frequently since it is going to be the global currency that runs the new financial system. If once the Great Reset occurs, there's got to be a lot of it flowing through global financial systems. And so, you know, here's just another example of that. XRP moving from Ripple wallet, likely for on-demand liquidity for a new financial system. But, you know, when it comes to the Great Reset, Klaus Schwab, he's got a lot of influence in Europe and with many of the Western English-speaking countries, and he's getting them to fall in line. These are the countries that are most prosperous. And so this is why Klaus has to target these countries first. It is a plan to remove wealth and power from governments and the people of those countries, transfer it to global elites, and, you know, keep us happy with a UBI, universal basic income, have us be happy staying at home. If there are other pandemics, let's say, constant, frequent lockdowns. This is a wider, broader theory of this. And then the new change, the financial system transferring over to a CBDC model. But the problem with this, guys, and I did a video on this, what if the Great Reset does not happen as planned? And I'll link that video up here if you guys didn't catch that. The problem with this plan is that essentially every country has to fall in line with this plan, and we're already seeing countries change their mind, backing out. And I think a lot of this can be detected by countries saying, you know what, we do not want to continue to put in beer flu restrictions to our people, and so we are abolishing all of that. And there are several countries that have already done that. In the UK, I believe some Scandinavian countries have also said that they're just abandoning the beer flu restrictions. And then there are countries like Russia and China. So guys, I saw this from Great Reset-info here, a great resource, Harry Schlanger. He says Russia is opposed to the Great Reset. And of course, why would they not be? The whole idea of the Great Reset is to take away power from governments to invest in their own economies. Central banks are going to be given the power that used to be in the hands of elected legislators. I wanted to play you guys this clip with Harry Schlanger. Listen to this.
What's happening is that Russia is opposed to the Great Reset because the Great Reset is a policy based on taking away national sovereignty. The whole idea, as it was drafted by people like Larry Fink of BlackRock, Mark Carney, the former director of the Bank of England, Klaus Schwab, Prince Charles, the whole idea of the Great Reset is take away from governments the power to invest in their own economy. And the reason they're trying to do that is because there's such a huge debt overload on the whole world. You know, the world is drowning in debt. The biggest banks are holding trillions of dollars of worthless financial instruments. And they're trying to figure out how to keep the situation going with liquidity. But that's what's triggering inflation. And so they moved to the next phase. The Great Reset basically says that central banks will take over not only currency and credit policy, monetary policy, but also spending policy, fiscal policy. In other words, the central banks, who are really arms of the biggest private banks and financial institutions, are going to be given the power that used to be in the hands of elected legislatures.
It's a banker's dictatorship, as you talked about before.
Yeah, a
central banker's dictatorship.
Yeah.
And Putin is like, hell no, this is not, we should all be, hell no, this is not what we want. So Putin's fighting it. And so it's just convenient to go after Putin, because they're going after China, they're going after Putin, they're going after all sorts of, but it's convenient is what you're saying.
Well, it's not just convenient, it's essential for them, because you saw what happened at the COP26 conference in Glasgow. The Great Reset is directly connected with the Green New Deal. The idea that we're going to hollow out manufacturing, we're going to shut down energy efficiency, we're going to stop investing in advanced technologies, and we're going to turn the whole world basically into something that looks like sub-Saharan Africa. And they're going to do that so they can loot the populations. They can create credit, which will be on the national.
Okay, and the clip stops there. So, did you hear what Harley Schlanger said? Essentially, the wealth transfer from rich countries to global elites, of course, when you have a country like Russia where they're already kind of draining their people of all the resources and, Putin, a very, very rich individual because of it, why would he be interested in something like the Great Reset? It makes a lot of sense. Also, countries like China in a similar situation. They have no incentive to be part of this. Of course, historically, these countries have also been in conflict with the US, where, sanctions have been put on these countries via the SWIFT system. And so just bringing you guys back to this document, I believe it was originally discovered by King Solomon. But I wanted to bring this up just to show you guys, just demonstrating that Russia, the Bank of Russia's Novosibirsk Innovation Laboratory, conducted research on testing the possibility of cross-border settlements using the Ripple platform. This was back in 2018. The system technology assumed that the settlement participants had special accounts opened in national payment systems and addresses in the Ripple network. Reflection of operations in national payment systems could be performed both after each transfer and at the end of the trading day or at certain intervals. Based on the research results, it was concluded that the Ripple platform can be considered as the basis for starting work on creating a system for cross-border settlements, provided that the following organizational, legal, and technical issues are resolved. And so they give a bullet point synopsis of what those are. As far back as 2018, though, Russia trialing out Ripple's technology, DLT, obviously trying to move away from a traditional system now. I don't know where Russia is today. Again, this was from 2018. A lot has happened since then. And I still think either way, whether the Great Reset occurs or not, whether it is implemented in totality or not, I definitely think Ripple and XRP are going to have a central role, because I think the current financial system as we know it, we're not going back to that. I think that is a thing of the past. We are going to have to move on to something new, whether it takes part of what the Great Reset wanted to implement or, maybe 5% of what the Great Reset wanted to implement. Either way, we need a new financial system. Of course, the technology is there. It's not all bad technology, but if you have bad actors behind it, that's where it will get problematic. Of course, now we're seeing a lot of opposition against the Great Reset. Western countries are backing out. Doesn't look like Russia's on board either. Do you think at the end of all this, people will have their financial freedom? I know that holding XRP is probably not a bad idea, considering what we're seeing in the world. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.